So now, probably one of the bigger difficulties that people usually run into is what are subnets. So networks can be broken down further into what are known as subnets, and as the name implies, they're just sub networks that group together specific devices that can communicate with each other. Now you may have seen like an IP address written like this right here with like a /24 after it. So actually it represents an address range for a /24 subnet. So now let's break this down a little bit because I'm sure you're probably confused. So here's a breakdown of subnetting, and you should probably copy this chart down. Just take a screenshot or write it down somewhere just so you have it as a reference. Almost nobody memorizes this typically unless you've been working in this for like 10 years. So let's go over like how the IP address is formed, and we'll understand subnetting a little bit more. So an IP address is made up of 4 numbers that range from 0 to 255. And these are separated by the dots. You've seen that in the other examples, or you see it right there too. There's dots in between each of the 4 numbers. So these numbers are each called octets because they're ultimately made up of 8 bits. And bits are just ones and zeros, remember that. So altogether, an IP address contains 32 bits because we have 4 octets, which aka 4 numbers. Each one of them has 8 bits. 8 times 4, that's 32 bits. Now, when we're talking about a /24 network, it simply means that the first 24 bits, or the first 3 octets, or the first 3 numbers are set in stone. Those numbers are not going to change. This is known as the network address. So when we have a subnet like 192.168.1.0/24, the 192.168.1 part is going to be the same for every single address on that subnet, with the only difference being the last octet or the last number, which is the 0 that you see right there before the /24. So as a result, a /24 subnet can only have 256 addresses, aka it can only have 256 hosts on it. So you can look at the little chart over there on the right, and it's going to tell you, the mask, which is what represents, the /24, /25, /26. That's the network mask that represents that. And it tells you how many subnets that specific type of subnet can have, and then how many hosts it can have as well. For your reference, like I said, just keep the chart handy just so that, you can always reference it and understand, like when you see like a /28, oh, what does that mean? Then you have this chart, you'll understand exactly what that means, okay?